Some weapons require finesse, careful aiming in order to get the best results. And then there's the Twin Kohmak. Hey guys, hello and welcome back. As always, my name is Lazer, and today we're gonna be diving deeper into this Mastery Rank 10 secondary weapon, the Twin Kohmak. As per usual, I'm gonna be covering a standard build, something affordable that anybody can get into, but of course we also have the classic endgame setup with a Riven. That being said though, please keep in mind that my builds and guides usually follow a more new player friendly approach, simply because there's a lot of info here and I want anybody watching to understand how the weapon functions and how it should be built. So if you're a veteran of the game and already know most of this stuff, then please bear with me. And with that out of the way, let's jump into the Twin Kohmak. Let's begin by checking out how the weapon handles without any mods equipped, and for that I'm simply gonna be taking a couple of free shots. You will notice that the Twin Kohmak are twin shotguns and they have a spool up effect similar to how the comb works, for example. The initial shot has, well, let's call it decent accuracy, something like that, but the more you spool up, the more pellets you will be firing and the lower the accuracy gets, but of course you also get increased fire rate. And as you can see, the Twin Kohmak essentially sprays the screen. Let's try something a bit more closer, something like this. There we go. At full spool up, the Twin Kohmak will consume 1.67 ammo per shot, so keep that one in mind. Let's jump into stats to see precisely what we're dealing with. First of all, mod capacity is 60 out of 60, and if your Twin Kohmak only has 30 out of 30, jump into actions and install an autokin catalyst. The autokin catalyst can be found from alerts, invasions, or if you're lucky, from the daily sortie. If you don't have access to the daily sortie just yet, simply progress further through the story and you will. Don't worry about it too much, you're not missing out. Next, my weapon has been formatted a total of 6 times, but this was done mainly for the purpose of testing. For the weapon builds I'm recommending you guys, 2 free format should do it. Accuracy is only 3, and this is without the spool up effect, and the damage fall off is between 12 and 24. As you can see, the Twin Kohmak requires the player to be up close and personal to the target to get the best results. Critical chance is also low at 11%, but the multi is quite nice at 2.0x. Now we can pump up that crit chance a little bit. Unfortunately, the base amount of critical chance makes the multiplier kinda pointless in a way. Fire rate is 6.67, but this refers to the full spool up effect, and a magazine of 80, but keep in mind that at full spool up you are consuming 1.67 ammo per shot. Punch through, yes, we do get default punch through on the Twin Kohmak, 1.5 meters, meaning that adding even more punch through is not really required. Reload is 2.2 and a Riven dispo of 3 out of 5 right smack in the middle, which means that the Rivens for this one will be quite decent. Status chance 23%, and this is kinda, and I emphasize kinda, where the weapon shines. Let's take a look at the default damage. The IPS, impact puncture slash, highest amount is by far slash, which is definitely a good thing, and you'll see why that is a tad later. Let's start slapping on some mods, starting with mandatory mods. Hornet Strike, of course, 220% extra damage. Next we're gonna go into multi-shot with Barrel Diffusion, 120% multi-shot, and Lethal Torrent, 60% fire rate and 60% multi-shot. The fire rate really comes in useful because you get go to the maximum spool up effect, the maximum fire rate, a whole lot faster. It can get a bit annoying when you start shooting. Just keep in mind that the Twin Kohmak does fire more pellets at full fire rate, so the initial pellets will have the initial pellet, it fires only 1 bullet first time, will have a very good status chance, so keep that one in mind. Next, we could go into crit chance and crit damage, or we can go into full status effects. The problem is, this is still a shotgun, and all the status chance will get divided among the pellets unless we get a 100% status chance before multi-shot effects. Multi-shot effects on pellet-based weapons can trick you when it comes to status chance. As you can see here, my status chance is 51.9, but this one will get divided among the pellets. Let me give you a clear example. Let's go into status effects. Frostbite, 60-60 mod for cold. Jolt is the same thing but electricity. Pistol Pestilence for Toxin, and Scorch for Heat. And I got a 98.6% status chance, but once again this is not true status chance because it includes multi-shot effects, so all of this will get divided among my pellets. And now I'm no longer firing just 5 pellets at full spool up, I'm firing about 14 because of all the multi-shot I slapped on the weapon. In order to get this weapon to a true 100% status chance, what you will need is a Riven mod which has at least 95% status chance. So for that reason, we're not gonna go further into status chance. You can try it out, it simply doesn't give good results because you gotta divide that status chance by about 14. So your chance per pellet is gonna be something like 6%, which is of course not a whole lot. Back to my multi-shot, and as we understood now, status chance doesn't really work very well unless I can get 100 before multi, so I have to go into crit and more damage. Pistol Gambit, 120% crit chance goes to only 24.2%, and Target Cracker. Of course, if you guys have Prime versions, definitely go for Prime versions. Next, we're gonna go into elemental damage, and as per the usual, elemental damage would be swapped in and out depending on the encounter, who exactly is that you're shooting. If you're going up against the infested, these guys have 4 health types, each with their own unique vulnerabilities and resistances to damage. But against the infested, in general, heat is more than enough to deal with them. If you're going up against the corpus, then you can build magnetic damage. Magnetic will deal extra damage versus shields, or you can build toxin or gas, which bypasses their shields entirely and deals damage to their health. When talking about the Grineer, we gotta take into account their armor types. They have 2 armor types, alloy and ferrite. Ferrite is weak to corrosive damage and alloy is weak to radiation damage. Against Grineer, in general, your best bet is to build corrosive, and that's what we're gonna be doing with convulsion together with pathogen rounds. Again, we're not using the 60s because the extra status chance I would get would simply get divided, and my per pellet status chance is awfully low. What you're seeing here is a shot status chance. I got my corrosive 483, and let's bring it back how status procs work. Though for the Twin Kohmak, it really doesn't matter all that much, because right now per pellet I'm rocking a status chance of about 3.4, so there is that to take into account. However, keep in mind that when you're slapping elemental damage on, you're not really slapping it only for the status proc, you're also slapping it on for the type of damage it does. For example, corrosive against ferrite armor simply deals 75% more damage, regardless of the status proc. When it comes to your last slot, this is what I like to call an option slot. So by all intents and purposes, please cater each and every weapon to your own individual playstyle. If you want more punch through, although even from my point of view it's not really recommended, you can go for Seeker, which will get you 3.6 meters worth of punch through total. More damage is never really a bad idea, so you can go for Augur Pact, 90% extra damage plus the benefit of the set, small as it may be. And this will mean that I will have 619 extra corrosive on the weapon, but you can address some of the issues of the weapon. It has 2 major issues. One, the accuracy, of course you have to be super close, and second would be the fact that this thing consumes ammo like nobody's business. Now you can fix this one of 2 ways. First of all, it would be ammo mutation. Pistol ammo mutation, this is a fairly cheap and common mod, and it will solve all your ammo issues. Another idea would be to use Carrier or Carrier Prime together with Ammo Case, and once again this will alleviate your ammo issues. Ammo Case increases ammunition capacity by 25% and converts ammo pickups into ammo for equipped weapons after 2 seconds. Just make sure that the Twin Kohmak is the weapon that you're currently wielding. So this is a way to fix your ammo issues. Okay, let's de-equip Carrier for now, just to make sure he doesn't skew our test results. When it comes to the accuracy fix, well, I do have one, but it's not a particularly good one. You have this mod, it's called Targeting Subsystems. On hit, 30% accuracy while aiming for 9 seconds, and you might not be familiar with this mod, it drops from the Jackal. This will mean that I will no longer hit targets to the side of me, but by all intents and purposes, because this is a percentage base increase, it doesn't have a huge effect. But once again, if you hate the accuracy for the Twin Kohmak, by all intents and purposes, you can use this one. Another 60-60 mod to further increase your elemental damage, so more toxin or more electricity is also a viable solution. To be honest, the differences are quite small, so you can either use a 60 mod like Jolt or maybe Pistol Pestilence, or you can simply go for Augur Pact, whatever you guys have handy. It doesn't really matter all that much. In our case in particular, if I was to be super scrupulous about it, then I would go for more corrosive, because once again my targets are weak to corrosive, and I'm gonna forget about the extra status chance this one brings. This is the initial build I'm recommending to you guys, so let's test it and see if it can actually do something without a Riven mod. What we're spawning in is level 120 Corrupted Heavy Gunner, because I believe these guys are appropriate, equipped with ferrite armor, and let's see what the Twin Kohmak can do against them. Hey, not bad! And you can also see that the punch through is working its magic. The second target is being hit right behind the initial target. Actually, you can hit up to 3 targets. Now that is pretty good. No Riven, no anything. I don't really even have a 100% status chance because I can't really have it without a Riven. And I am tearing through these guys like there's no tomorrow. This is a wild boar, a pig of a weapon that requires a beefy frame that can stand in the front line and take the brunt of the damage. Now, to be honest, all in all considering, that is quite impressive for a weapon that is only MR10 and was able to tear through those targets in a couple of seconds. It's pretty good. And also the build doesn't really include anything expensive. What is expensive from here? Absolutely nothing. Next, what we're gonna do is switch to a Riven setup, and this is when the weapon goes absolutely phenomenal. But once again, in order to get the most out of the Twin Kohmak, what you will need is a Riven mod with 95% or higher status chance. Such as this one that my clan spent about, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours just constantly hounding the trade chat and all the appropriate websites. 102% status chance at 120% extra slash. Slash right now, of course, is the highest on the pecking order when it comes to procs, and we also use all of the 4 60/60 mods. We got Frostbite, Pistol Pestilence, Jolt, and Scourge. Now the elementals I chose to go with, of course, are gonna be Viral and Radiation. The Radiation I don't care that much about, but I do want the Viral because once again now I'm building into slash procs, and on a status proc, Viral will reduce the maximum health of a target by 50% for the duration of the Viral effect. So in a way, my slashes will be dealing double damage. The rest, of course, is pretty much the same. Hornet Strike, Mandatory Lethal Torrent, and Barrel Diffusion. And you will see that now is when this weapon absolutely comes to life. How many shots do you think it'll take to take out one of these guys? Let's test it out. You want to hit it till about 70% health and no more. Now take a look at the bleeds. You have 1,000 bleeds on the target, well, relatively speaking, of course, and you don't really need to do a whole lot of shots. You got Viral on the target, the bleeds are there. The bleeds themselves are not very high. 67, 33 is not a lot, but you do have a lot of them, so there is that to take into account. This is what you need to get the most out of a weapon, and I'll be honest, I don't like weapons that require a Riven mod in order to be great, but you kinda need it for the Twin Kohmak. Kinda like the same way with the comb. This is basically the secondary version of the comb. And I'm just gonna go through all of these guys. I'm gonna shoot in a straight line just to get as many bleeds as I can in line. Once again, that punch root working its magic. And that's pretty much it when it comes to your options for building this weapon. You can use the 60/60 mod as well, but again, the status chance does get divided without it reaching 100% without multi-shot effects. Next, we're gonna pump up everything with Warframe buffs, and for that we're gonna be using the ever so lovely Lady Mirage Prime. There we go. Let's adjust her looks a little bit. This is my favorite look. If you guys want to copy, go right for it. It's very simple, nothing too complex. And let's see what kind of buffs she's got. First of all, Rifle Amp will do absolutely nothing for us, so we're gonna switch to Pistol Amp, 27% extra damage to pistols. Now this one is an aura, so everybody in your party will be receiving this benefit, and it is stackable. If you guys know you're going up against Grenier, then Corrosive Projection is guaranteed to give you better results, but Pistol Amp will grant its benefit regardless of the target. Next, let's talk about arcanes because these are a bit more important. The first arcane I recommend is Arcane Precision. On headshot, 80% chance for plus 120% damage to pistols for 8 seconds, and the usual +1 arcane revive. This one is farmable down on Cetus, the third idol on drop set, and you should definitely pick it up. Next is gonna be Arcane Avenger. This is not your only option, but Arcane Avenger critical chance bonus is an additive after bonus, meaning that my Twin Kohmak by default has only 11% crit chance. With this one is gonna go to 41%, which is pretty decent. You can go for this one. You can also go for Arcane Awakening, more flat damage, 40% chance for plus 100% damage to pistols for 16 seconds. Just keep in mind that with full ammo, you're gonna be reloading the Kohmak 3 times before you completely run out of ammo. Carrier or pistol ammo mutation not included. The last option would be Arcane Velocity. Now this one gives you fire rate on critical hit, but without Avenger you're not really gonna get a lot of crits. I don't really recommend it for the Kohmak. We're gonna go like this, and what we're gonna do is unpause the AI so they can hit me and I can get my lovely crit buff. Unpause the AI, simulate, and of course we're gonna be using Mirage's third ability for a massive damage increase as well as her clones. And you will see that she is able to tear through these guys in a matter of seconds. Yes, the blast is knocking them down, and when you're staying a lot in a defense or a survival, you will be glad you have that blast. I don't like it either, but it can be useful. And as you can see, the targets are bleeding out, getting absolutely murdered just in a couple of seconds. Absolutely bloody glorious. Now the thing about the Twin Kohmak is that it does require a Riven to get the most out of it. I don't particularly like that, but there's no denying the power of this secondary weapon. Just keep in mind that the accuracy isn't really there, the ammo consumption is also pretty high, so you will need carrier or carrier prime or pistol ammo mutation. That's gonna do it for this review. As always, my name has been Leyzar. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. If you have any feedback for me or would like to request a specific weapon review, then by all means, leave it in the comment section down below. I can't realistically promise you that it'll be done by next time or even within a week, but I will be reading through each and every comment. But until next time, guys, bye bye.